Hello and welcome to the Utopia Restoration podcast. Today's guest is someone that is an inspiration to me in the car community and the motorbike world. I listened to him first on the Driven Chat podcast, which is another fantastic podcast you should check out. And he's got the mentality that I find very inspirational to get on, get involved and do what you can. And there's no challenge that you can't overcome by learning or just trying. And it is Leon Ollie Window, who founded Lowe Classics and Baffle Culture and Baffle Haus. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I certainly did. If you're anywhere near Wales or ever want to go check it out, they're just outside of Cardiff, so make sure you head over and go and see them. It's an absolutely fantastic place, full of amazing bikes and custom builds. Hope you enjoy this one. Hello and welcome to the Utopia Restoration podcast. Today I'm joined by Leon Ollie Windows, or as you will know him, Baffle Culture and Lowe Classics. How are you doing, Ollie?
Yeah, very well. Thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Very glad to be in this beautiful location of Baffle Culture.
Yes. We're very lucky. Yeah, we're currently sat above Baffle House. We're in the inner sanctum upstairs, our HQ, and we're in my office, which is a little bit of a shrine, a little bit of a petrolhead shrine, and I'm currently leaning up against my desk with a broken leg, everyone. So we're having a relaxed podcast today.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's a very cool office, especially with all the Porsches on the wall and steering wheels around. But
Yeah.
do you want to tell the listeners how you did get to being in a pink cast as you currently are?
Well, the pink cast, first of all, I had to choose that because my daughter, she's 2.5, Eva, that's her favourite colour, so I had to choose that. But yeah, I had a little car accident recently in the country lanes in TVR, so not my finest move, but I'm healing well, and I'm missing cars and bikes or driving and riding very much.
And when do you expect that you'll be able to be back on a bike or back in a car?
Well, I'm trying to fast forward it as much as possible, but in reality, about 7 weeks.
7 weeks. Which TVR was it that you were driving?
We were in a Chimera.
Nice.
We were in the country lanes, came around the corner, and there was a lorry rolling a cigarette, and unfortunately in the middle of the road, so we didn't have anywhere to go and slap.
No.
And we went straight in. Hard.
Yeah, no ABS, no.
There's
no
nothing
traction
on those,
control.
nothing on those at all, so as I found. But anyway, there we go.
Yeah. So for the listeners that don't know what Baffle Culture is, could you give us sort of a brief summary and explain what it is?
Yeah, of course. So I have the pleasure of being part of Baffle Culture, which is an Instagram lifestyle page, and website, blog, YouTube channel, and it started with Andy Salter and Sam Damon, who they started it just as a lifestyle kind of page on Instagram. And they started doing photography and reviewing bikes and so on and so forth. And they're a handsome pair of devils, and they started to get quite a lot of followers. And they started doing the Distinguished Gentleman's Bike Ride.
Yeah, which is very cool.
Myself and George, a mate of mine, we went down and we did the ride as well, and we met them, and we just all got on, and the group has grown from there. You've got another gentleman in it called Andrew Harrison, and it was excellent. And we from that has become a friendship of 5 petrol heads who are very different people altogether, but we come together to make something pretty special. And I'd be the wild one of the group probably, who they have to tell Dad to calm down the most. But what's come of it is a lot of positive mental attitude, and we're all yes people, and so we're all pushing forward now this dream of growing Baffle into something for petrol heads. So we've opened up our cafe, Baffle House, and we've got a petrolhead event space for cars and bikes. We're more leaning towards bikes because we haven't got a huge amount of space here.
Yeah.
We can get a lot more bikes in here than we can cars. And so far it's been going really well. We've started to get a great amount of followers and respect in the industry from the quality of the media that we put out. And we've started reviewing motorbikes. We've started building our own bikes.
Very cool.
Good. We've got a secret weapon called Sid, who is Sam Damon's dad, who is a really, really high-skilled motorbike mechanic and restorer. And I don't know, we must have done 5 or 6 bikes already now.
Oh, really? Which one's been your favourite out of the 5 you've done?
Recently, Andrew Salter we've done a bike with Royal Enfield.
Oh, nice.
So we got one of their Interceptor Continental style bikes, 650, and Andrew designed a build for that, which is super classy. We called it the Ken Field.
Nice.
Yeah, because his nickname to us is Ken, and obviously then the field for Enfield. So if everyone wants to check out, it's at Baffle Culture on Instagram, and you'll see a lot of the images of this bike, and it's beautiful. So it's black with brushed stainless steel inserts, like
very nice,
on the back of the tank, silver pin stripes. It's got a at back BAAK is the make of the seat and handlebars and a lot of other bits and pieces. And then we've got motor gadget, switch gear and so on. And the look of the bike is clean.
Yeah.
You know, really smooth, really clean, minimal wiring on show, all the rest of it. So recently, that's my favourite build. Before that, George, he did a scrambler build with the old carburettor Triumph scramblers, and that's pretty special as well. And then the next build that we've got coming back would be my own personal build, which is an Africa Twin, 1992.
Very cool.
Yeah, very much like your Fiesta.
Yeah.
Which has got that rugged utilitarian look about it. I like rally and race cars when they're white and black and just like they're like nude, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and, before I have any stickers put on them, they always look like prototype cars.
Yeah.
They look insane. So we've got that. I've got that, and this Africa Twin. I'm always I don't know what the kind of look is that you call. I'm always attracted to things that are a bit ugly, like in the car. And
sort of like utilitarian.
Yeah, exactly. And I just like that purposeful look. Yeah. A little bit like Lancia Delta Integrales as well, and all that kind of stuff. You know, they're built to do a kind of job. Defenders, you know, Range Rovers.
That sort of function over form, and then the form sort of comes later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so I'm into that. And this Africa Twin has got that, so so I can't wait to get that back. I should be riding it now.
Yeah.
I'm sure I should be up a mountain jumping over stuff, potentially on it. But with my pink cast on my leg, I'm not going to be going anywhere fast.
No.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be very cool. And then, so you've got Lowe Classics is your sort of the daily job. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So Lowe Classics is myself and my brother Harvey Byron. And what do we do? We try to live the dream, really. I used to be into engineering, had a security company. We got out of that a few years ago, and we started with this dream of having our own little classic car business. I wanted to buy and sell them, but what's kind of organically happened with the business is we've now got this kind of business model of people bring us their classic car or bike, and we detail it, we fix it for them, we market it. And deal with all the customers, and we sell it for them on a commission basis.
Perfect.
It's been going really well. We've had interesting cars in recently. Two massive differences here. We've got a Maybach in at the moment, which was £360,000 new in 2004.
It's worth a house, yeah.
5 in Wales.
Yeah.
And then we've got the opposite to that. We just sold a Caterham.
Yeah.
You know, so we couldn't probably get two different cars. And everything in between. So that's at Lowe Classics on Instagram, and stock is changing all the time. And then we've got a few little builds. The builds that we're getting involved in, we don't do a lot of that at all. Primarily they've been my own cars. We've got one Honda Mini in for one customer at the moment, which is a bit of a long-term project. So we're just doing a rebuild, recolor, re-interior for it. And then the biggest build we've got going on at the moment is the Corvette,
which is going to look very cool when it's done.
Yeah, it's a massive project. So we have taken on a build for, there's a good friend of mine who asked would we take the car off, did I want to take the car off him. He had a bit of bad luck in his family, or awful luck I should say, and he wanted this project was sat there doing nothing, and he wanted to get rid of it. So but he wanted to give it to someone who would take it on and actually finish it.
Yeah, do something interesting.
Yeah, I'm the type of person, if I say I'm going to do something, I pretty much do it. And especially with big challenges or big projects, and the type of thing that people think, why are you doing that? Or they're not brave enough to do it themselves, but I'm a risk taker, times 10. So
well, you get the rewards, so. You
do. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, but you know, like in the Driven podcast you and me talked about before, that I did, I'm just not afraid of that, you know. So anyway, So we've taken on a 1968 Corvette Stingray. It's aluminium big block engine car and a mental race car. So this thing raced, it's called Leldon Blackwell. was the builder of the car back then. He was an independent racer and team, not a works team, and he got some amazing results. And this car that he built, actually, a year or two later at Daytona, was clocked at 222 mile an hour.
Bloody hell.
In a Corvette with leaf springs.
Yeah.
And you think the safety then and the roll cages and all the rest of it wouldn't have been nowhere near the standards that we've got today. No. The men driving them must have balls like watermelons, right? And quite intriguing. So anyway, so I haven't got balls of watermelons, but I'm still going to build it and race it, and we're going to see what happens. So
maybe just shy of 220.
Well, yeah. Well, I think if anything north of 150, 60, I think would be terrifying in that car. But so we're building it at the moment. The car is orange, yellow, and black.
It does look phenomenal.
Yeah, in a crazy scheme. There's pictures of it on my Instagram, which is at Leon Ollie Window, and the engine's built. It's circa 650 horsepower at 4,000 revs and 600 pound-foot of torque at 3,000 revs. Wow. So it's, probably a face-off kind of stuff. And we've got involved in building race cars before with Team SMG in Abu Dhabi, who I've done lots of racing with over the past 10 years or so. And what's happened is we have minis are easy to build. Yeah. Yeah, they're like, looking back on it now, you think they're complicated, but actually, the parts are readily available. They're probably one of the most well-supported classic cars in the world. And there's a strict set of rules for minis, and you can build them, and you can churn them out.
Because they're the longest raced car in history, aren't they now? The longest single
make racing series. Well, the Mini 7 Club started in 1961 or 2, I think, and it has never stopped racing since. The Mini was made in 1959. Yeah,
not far.
No. So so it's the longest single make racing series in the world. Racing minis, and they're still raced and still filmed on telly now. Classic minis. You've still got premium sports people like like Andrew Jordan, Nick Padmore, so on. They're still racing them hard. Bumper to bumper, milliseconds off. I think the top 5 guys recently were there was 1/10 in it.
Wow.
Anyway, I digress. So the Corvette, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. What we found with the Corvette is the fact that a lot of the parts on it are unique just to that car. Okay. So things like we found the door cards were made for 2 weeks only inside it. Yeah. We had a set of them. Yeah, they're like megabucks worth. So, but where we put all the roll cage and everything, they wouldn't fit in the car. So we're having some new ones made identically the same.
Wow.
Bonkers. Yeah, but with grooves cut in them for the things. Anyway.
Not the sort of stuff you can just search on eBay for. No,
totally not. And also, so things like the steel wheels. There's wheels that are called mag slots, which are on loads of American pickup trucks, vans, cars, GM, Corvette, Ford. They're all on orders. However, they're magnesium alloy. The ones on my car are steel. So it took me 9 months to find one place in Minnesota that actually still make them.
Wow.
And they make the wheels from scratch. So we've ordered 12 of them now, and they're on the way here. And they're called Astro slots.
Cool.
They're really cool. Deep dish, 10 by 15 steel wheels, massive offset in them, and I can't wait to get them and put the rubber on them.
What's the import tax going to be on that though?
Oh, well, that's not the worst of it. We've got loads of other parts coming as well, all in the same shipment. We've got 2 pallets coming of parts from America to finish this Corvette. Insane. So, but I'm the type of person, we're going to do it, we've got to do it properly. So this car has got to be a showpiece. The only Achilles heel in the whole project is the original race car was a soft top with a hard top on it, and our car is a T-bar. Okay, now to the untrained eye, not many people might notice that, but I'm sure the Corvette people and fans out there probably rip me a new one for that. But it was either destroy our car and cut it all apart and make the soft top, or just be like, do you know what? The real one's a soft top with a hard top on it, and ours isn't. I've been told that ours will be structurally more rigid, so obviously better for racing. And safer. So,
and you're so close to it, I think it's an acceptable one thing to miss if you're getting everything's brand new made shit from America.
We messaged the family and told them we were doing it. The family of Eldon Blackwell, he's not with us anymore, but we messaged them and told them we were doing this replica. And I think it's quite nice that one would be that's the major difference between the two. And in one way, I think it would be quite nice.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're not doing it to to pass it on as a real thing or anything. We're doing it to go and race.
Yeah.
And the dream for doing this is because I want to do Le Mans Classic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my goal one day in life. From mini racing to go into a Corvette and to go to somewhere like that and do it. I'm very well aware that my skill set is not the highest in racing, and but I'm the type of person that'll practice and learn and go for it.
No, but that'd be a fantastic goal when you get there.
Massive. I've been to the Le Mans Classic a few times to go and watch the racing, and you're sitting up in the stands at 3 a.m. and you've got things like the Moby Dick Porsche and all these different amazing cars going past you with the brake discs glowing red, smoke and flames out of the exhaust and all the rest of it. It is the single best motoring event in the world, bar none. Yeah. Anyone want to message me and prove me wrong? Crack on.
It must be phenomenal to see them.
Yeah, because the original, the normal Le Mans is amazing. However, the classic is just insane. First of all, members of the public get access to walk around all the cars. Yeah,
Right.
like all the race cars in the paddock. Yeah, and the pits, which is absolutely insane. Okay, and then you've got access into all the stands where normally with normal one you have to pay a fortune for that.
Yeah.
In the night you can just go and sit in them. Yeah, you're talking €70 for 4 days of bliss if you're into classic cars and race cars. Yeah, I would recommend to anybody to go and make the pilgrimage, because I would call it that for car people. You need to go there. You've got to camp. You've got to take a tent.
Yeah.
You've got to live all that. You've got to be knackered. You've got to be on your knees by the end of the weekend. Yeah, you've got to have a million beers and really enjoy yourself.
No, definitely. I would definitely check that out. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, you've got to. Yeah, it's absolutely superb. You've got to take something cool, drive down in something cool or old, from an old Defender to some, I don't know, jalopy of a car. And you've got to do it. Yeah, it's just amazing,
Definitely be worth checking out.
100%. Good.
So you said that you've sold a few cars in your time, and I've seen recently that you've sold the Noble, which was very cool.
Yes, yeah.
What would you say is like your most standout car that you've sold?
Wow. Most standout car that we sold. It's a great question. I mean, it all depends really. I mean, do you want highest value or maybe?
Yeah, let's go for three. Highest value. Which one would you keep, and then which one did you regret selling for someone else? Or would
highest value would be my last 992 that I had, because that was a 6-figure car.
Wow.
So just over 100k's worth of vehicle. So that was a 992 C4S, and that was absolutely amazing. One of the best Porsches ever made, I think. Especially for a road car, just for what it can do. Transport a dog, a baby, a pram, very
a family car,
yeah, and then be able to do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and serious top ends. So anyway, so that was highest value. That would be that one. Most interesting car sold. We had a Cadillac Brougham Gold, which was a gold-plated lunatic machine from America, a massive Cadillac. That actually went to a hire car company who hire cars to Snoop Dogg, apparently. So when he comes over now, he's going to use that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a very interesting story and a very interesting car. We're talking massive shag pile carpets, 10 cattle inside. Apparently 10 cows used.
Wow.
Inside it. It was black with gold, black and gold. So that was an insane car, absolutely massive.
And you were saying you did detailing on it. So how was cleaning 4 foot of shag pile? How did that go?
Well, not me. I didn't do that. But we've got our detailing guys. We've got at TI22 and at Pritchard Valetin. So those are the 2 guys that do all that. And so that would be the type of jobs that they get involved in. I'm not allowed on the tools really.
No. Been banned.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But there we are. So what was the third one you said?
Which one do you regret selling? So did you sell it at the wrong price or wrong customer or?
944 S2. Yeah. I sold that. That was before I was buying and selling, but I still sold it, and I sold it for a profit. But it was. But if you took into account what I spent on it over the years, no, it probably lost me a fortune. I'd have that car back tomorrow if the owner is listening, wherever you are in the world.
Try find them.
Apparently, we built it to like a club sports spec.
Nice.
And it was a flying machine. Yeah, and drove all around Europe in that car.
Which tracks did you take it on?
Which tracks did I take it on? I only took it on Castle Combe and Landau.
Oh, nice.
So I used to repeatedly go to Castle Combe with it, and I'd like to think got pretty quick with it there. But the best trip we did was around Europe, and we drove through the Alps in it and so on, and then down to Monaco and back up and all the rest of it.
Yeah, that's a trip I definitely want to do. I've been trying to plan it for a while to do down to Monaco and then back up again. But
you can if you start in Wales, you can do 10 countries in 7 days.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, if you count in countries such as like Liechtenstein and Belgium and England and all the rest of it,
Go through Andorra as well.
Yeah, cool.
That'd be very good. So, what's the most memorable motorbike ride that you've ever done?
Oh, by far. Oh God, 50-50 now. This is going to be tricky.
Go for both.
Go for both. All right. Well, just to be nice to both my my good mates, Andy Saltz and Andrew Harrison. So one is going to be on the Indian FTR 1200 down in the Pyrenees.
Wow.
That was excellent. That was last year at the beginning of the year when COVID was kicking off. We did that, and a lot of beer, a lot of wine, a lot of French food with Andy. Me eating all sorts of random stuff in the van, stinking the van out, and Salt's just looking at me like, you're such a weirdo. We took the Baffle van, which is a Transit Custom, in a little bit of a style of yours, like it had a roof rack on and ladders on it and all the rest of it, and kind of utilitarian looking van.
As it should be.
Yeah, and in the back we had this FTR, Indian FTR. So yeah, it was great. So yeah, that was one great trip. We went on that trip, and we're going to the ferry, and I'm like, oh, where are we staying? And Ms. Saltz just looked at me and was like, I haven't booked anything yet. So him and me are similar in that aspect. I'll be like, yeah, we'll find something on the way, it didn't bother us. Anyway,
and did you?
Yeah, we lucked out, and if anyone wants to DM us, right, if you're travelling through France, in Bordeaux, there's the most amazing petrol head venue to go and stay in. It's an Airbnb up with underground, like almost like in a cave kind of looking, like parking. It's stone. They've got these big shutters and you park in there. And the guy has got his like a Fiat 500 original and a really cool Triumph Thruxton parked in there. Nice. And you go down underneath into like the cellar of the building, and yeah, amazing. And beautiful wine and food and everything there. But yeah, if anyone wants to stay in Bordeaux and you're a petrol head, let us know.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Up to 6 people is the bee's knees.
How did you find it? Just Airbnb?
Literally just random.
Yeah,
we just lucked out.
That's very cool.
Trip number 2, NC 500, Scotland.
Nice.
We called it the BC 500 for Baffle. That was that's cemented adventure biking for me as one of the most amazing things that you can do in this world. The freedom. No mobile phone for 4 or 5 days, and or no signal hardly, and just going around the whole edge of Scotland is something that every petrolhead needs to do.
Yeah.
It was absolutely superb. You've got the warm welcome of all the Scottish people who are just amazing, and then you've got all of the scenery is just insane.
Yeah, something I'm looking at doing very soon.
Yeah. I do it on a bike, don't do it on a car.
Okay.
Some of the roads are really super narrow, and you're going to have a lot of camper vans and things flying towards you. And I think doing it in a sports car or supercar, I think in peak season, I think would be hell.
Yeah.
I think doing it on a motorbike would be much nicer. I definitely go outside of school term.
Yeah.
Or no, should I say in school term? Yeah, go in school time.
Yeah.
Go when everyone's at home and going to school, and you'll have a much more enjoyable journey.
Well, I think especially this year, where a lot of people are looking to do stuff within the UK and not travel abroad. Yeah. It's probably going to be rammed, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah. And that's my idea of hell, is busyness like that on the roads and all the rest of it. So yeah.
Always take the scenic route, isn't it? You don't want to be sat in traffic. You always want to
freedom in a Braveheart style. I'm sure there's probably Scottish people face planting themselves now all over the place. But anyway, there we are. But yeah, so that was the NC 500 with Andrew Harrison. Was one of the highlights of my life trip. Yeah, it was that good.
No, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was.
But like that, taking the scenic route, I even just had one recently when we went to Norfolk.
Yeah.
We're looking on Google Maps and it's like, there's similar routes, but as in one, it was like sit in traffic and sit on an A road. Or the other one was, as Google Maps regularly does, take this road, which isn't really a road, and just bomb off and go fully across country.
Brilliant.
And that's what we did, and it was hilarious. It was like undulating roads, dips, single tracks.
Yeah.
And in mine, it was a bit silly, but quite fun.
Were you in the Fiesta?
Yeah.
Exactly. But your car is exactly built for doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what it's meant for.
Small front-wheel drive, underpowered cars are some of the most fun you can have. Yeah. And also, it's not hugely valuable and all the rest of it. You can nail it.
Yeah. And I'm not precious about the paintwork. Like, as in, it's got chips and dents now, and it's going to get.
I think the more on that, the more dents and patina on that car, the better it'll look.
Oh, I could be good at getting dents. It'll be.
Yeah. Don't let me drive it.
No. Definitely not. Well, I think that's exactly it. Like, they sort of get slammed a bit in the car community. I think the small engine front wheel drive cars, like we've talked about previously on this podcast, is that sort of apex speed is probably more fun than straight line.
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
you can only go 70, and most places now are getting average speed checks. They're all full of roadworks.
Of course.
You want to be hitting the apex and flying off down a country lane.
Matt, there's a lot to be said for it, you know. Like I drive this Porsche at the moment, 992 C2S, and it's ballistic. Yeah, it's so fast. Literally, you can lose your license in second gear. Yeah, and then you've got the new turbo out now and all the rest of it. Now, I love all these cars, and I love doing trips abroad and all the rest of it. But sadly, in this country, I know it's there for a safety reason, and I know it's there for pollution and for the environment and so on and so forth. And I'm all for that. But when you are a petrol head and you've got one of these weapons, it's very tricky not to put your foot down. But things are changing a little bit, and smaller cars, slower cars, cheaper cars. There's a lot of enjoyment to be had. Yeah. I am into P38s. I'm one of those weirdos, and so at the moment I've got like a holy grail one. It is to me anyway. It's a Vogue SE, and 50,000 miles on the clock. 2 owners before me. Wow. Green and tan.
Nice.
It's class, and everything works in it. Yeah.
On a Range Rover?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Have you checked?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everything, which is unbelievable, right? I'm in love with that car. Yeah. I get as much enjoyment, if like people are going to laugh at me now or think I'm an idiot, I get as much enjoyment of driving that as I do the Porsche. Yeah. I do. I've got this rule that only 90s music is allowed to be played in it. Okay.
That's a good rule.
Yeah, and CDs. Yeah. So I've got all so I've got a mixture of bits and pieces in there. So yeah, I have a lot of fun in that car. Probably too much, but it's I don't know. There's just a lot to be said for that at the moment. Yeah, and the more I've got nailed with speeding points and speed cameras and all the rest of it. I get nailed all the time by them. Yeah. So.
What's the most amount of points you've had on your license at one go?
9.
9.
9, and then gone backwards from there. I had to slow down.
I've got a great memory of mine. I got done in my first year of driving. I was doing 37 in a 30. And so I was one away from getting points.
Oh my Lord.
And I was on the speed awareness course, and the first thing they do is they all sit down on the table and they went, so everyone put together your years of experience of driving. So then they could sort of prove like, oh look, this table's got 250 years of driving experience. Yeah. And then we went around ours and there was 4 of us, and they were like 15 years, 25 years, 5 years. And they looked at me and I sort of went, 3 months? And they're like, we'll put you down for a year. And I was like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it was fortunate enough to do the speed awareness course. And then, to be fair, I haven't been done since and haven't been much more on it. So it was quite good.
Good for you, yeah.
But
yeah, it's a very valuable thing, a driving licence.
Yeah, I don't know. If I lost it, I don't know what I'd be doing.
Well, you'd probably go crazy, I certainly would.
Probably take on more projects and just start building. Probably finish some projects, actually.
Move abroad.
Get a licence elsewhere. So what got you into the world of automotive? You sort of mentioned earlier about the mini racing and your 944.
What got me into the world, what got me into being a petrol head, it's got to be my father. Yeah. Years ago, he was into minis, he did a bit of rallying, and he had Triumphs and MGs and E-Type, all that kind of stuff. So growing up, it was always around us. So I think that's what got me into it. Yeah, it must be that kind of thing, That would have rubbed off with me. And then you'll see I've got these magazines here, Classic and Sports Car. Yeah, we're talking, these are all 90s magazines.
Oh, cool.
So in school, I used to read those. In school, I was terrible, left with nothing, but I had a lot of knowledge on cars. That was it. That was what.
So you did learn something at school?
Exactly.
Just maybe not the curriculum.
Yeah, a little story I've got. So I was asked to leave I was in science. I was asked to leave the classroom because I was mucking around. Bunsen burner probably involved or something like that. And so we were asked to leave the class. I was asked to leave the class, and I was sent to the back of the class of the deputy head, Mr. Mullis, and I had to sit. So you had all the intelligent and posher kids or whatever in the front in that class looking forward. To the teacher. I was sat at the back of the class with my back to them, looking out the window. Right? What a punishment. They used to do that when I was in school. I used to have to stand in the bin, in French. Stand in the bin, look into the corner of the room, just so I couldn't make anyone laugh. Yeah? Anyway. So, Mr. Mullis, he asked the class, how does an internal combustion engine work?
Yeah.
No one in the class put their hand up, and I'm there looking out the window, and I'm like itching now. I've got a bead of sweat dripping down my face. I want to put my hand up, and I'm just like, yeah, sod it. I put my hand up with my back to everyone. So I'm like this, and then he goes, Oliver Window, what's the answer? And I turn around and I explain how it works. And so I'm going to look a fool now if I don't say how it works. So so fuel and air is sprayed into an engine or dropped into a carburettor, and it is ignited by the spark plug, and the expansion of that when it goes off makes the piston go up and down. And I think that's pretty much what I said to him. And in turn then the piston, when it goes up and down, that turns the crank, and the crank will be connected to a gearbox, which will be connected to a prop on the wheels, and away we go. Hey, everyone does not clap. And the whole class clapped, and he said, "There's nothing wrong with you," and he sent me back to the other class. So that was like I didn't get a lot of results in school, but that was like a moment for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I I repeatedly tell people that story now and so on. So yeah.
I feel that, and then sometimes it's with education, it's good and it works for some people, but some people it just doesn't sort of fit with.
I don't think the education system is right for 13, 14-year-old boys to give them books and say study and learn. Jesus, they want to climb trees, they want to set fire to things, they want to burn things. I mean, all right, they did when I was in school. I mean, unfortunately, the world is changing a lot now, and you've got electronic gadgets that most teenagers and people are like glued to now. So we're going to have like a massive generation of coders and people who operate all this stuff from that. And I worry for the world from that point of view. When I've got a 2.5-year-old and she can see me on my phone or see her cousins on iPads and stuff, and she desperately wants to use it, and I'm trying to fight it all the time.
Good luck with that battle.
I know it's the way of the world now, and I'm all for technology.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a balance. I hope there's a backlash. I hope there's something where kids are like, or teenagers or other people. I think there's a little movement of it now. Like a lot of the hipster kind of people in London and all that, they want to go like more like organic or back to normal. You know? Or analog. That's the right word. They want to go back. They want to be reading, writing, drawing, doing all that type of stuff. And I hope that carries on, because these are the things that human beings are amazing at.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens, you know.
Yeah. No, and similar to you, that's what I sort of found. I ended up doing I've got my marketing business and been doing that, and had clients which have been going really well, and been behind desk, and I enjoyed it, but then I was behind the desk so I didn't have time to mess around with the cars.
Yeah.
And then sort of they all fell behind and couldn't actually get out to do something, and still do work behind a desk, but 2-3 hours a day, and then out actually doing something, seeing people doing things with your hands. And for me, it's just rewarding. It's just much more enjoyable.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, it's massively enjoyable. And hands-on skills, tradesmen, labourers, leather workers, metal workers, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, dying arts. Yeah, and that is scary. You know, so I think the more young people that can get, and one of the areas where Instagram has been amazing is by getting loads of younger people into the world of classics. Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of vibe, and whether it's from clothing, the look of it, the vibe, just like the general coolness of all the old bikes and all the rest of it. If there's anything wonderful that Instagram is doing, is educating people or showing them that world exists. Yeah, and that's a good thing in my book. So hopefully that'll mean people put down their stuff and actually go outside and tinker. Like, you can buy an old motorbike for not a lot of money. Yeah, yeah, it's one of the most accessible hobbies I think out there, and rewarding, because you can actually fix a motorbike yourself.
It can fit in a shed, or it can fit in a lounge.
Exactly. Yeah, and away you go. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm a big fan of all that, and hope more kids get involved with that.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely the way to go, isn't it? So what is the future for Baffle culture and Baffle House at the moment?
Good question. More events. COVID knocked us for 6, so we opened up during COVID, and then we were closed as soon as we were open. Yeah. Being a new business, there was not a huge amount of financial support or any support really for new businesses. So I feel, just to say, I feel for anyone who opened a business up during COVID and then had to close it. Man, my heart goes out to you. Yeah. But
all the loans are available for businesses like after 3 or 5 years, weren't they? Exactly. They've been registered. You can just make a one.
Yeah. So where are we with that? What's the future for Baffle? Event space, more bike builds, grow it. Maybe our own purpose-built venue one day. You know, because with more parking, big, that type of stuff. We look at our peers in the industry, which is the Bike Shed and Caffeine and Machine, and they're totally kicking ass, and they're wonderful businesses in their own right. There's not one in Wales, apart from now. Now we are the one. We are the one in Wales. So so the future's bright. We've got our own range of like organic, beautiful cotton clothing now. So from hoodies, t-shirts, we've got amazing bespoke key rings that are made. Very nice. Laser cut key rings, and all that kind of stuff. Everything we do, we want to be quality. Yeah. Because that's what we all enjoy. So that's the future for us. maybe Baffle burgers, who knows?
Yeah, Baffle burgers would be good.
Yeah, it would be. So all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we just want to keep on pushing and pushing it and keep on living the dream as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, keep going. It's been amazing so far.
Thank you very much.
And then for Lowe Classics, is there any plans for that, or is it just keep selling?
Yeah, Lowe Classics is a hobby business really for me and my brother, and yeah, we'll keep it going. If it can cover the cost of our racing and maybe help pay a few bills at home, I'll be very happy.
Yeah, keep it going. So what's the next race that you've got lined up then?
Blimey heck. Well, Carfest in August, the Chris Evans Red Nose Day kind of charity event, one of the best family festivals as well. They're interested in having the Corvette there, so that's the end of August.
Will it be ready for end of August?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, Lenny at CLS Paint and Prep. Hopefully, here's a message to you, buddy. Get it done. But yeah, and if anyone needs their race car done or their classic car done, his paintwork is exceptional. Yeah. So he's down in Portsmouth at CLS Paint and Prep. So yeah, if anyone needs their stuff done, yeah, he's one of the best.
And you were saying that he did work for Lazanti, didn't you?
Yeah. So Lenny is extremely talented and a humble young man, and he's got one of the best moustaches as well in the UK, maybe Europe. Yeah, he's won competitions with it.
Oh wow!
And
so proven to be the best then.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I give him a gold sticker for it.
Nice.
And he his paint and prep work is exceptional, and he's very modest about it. But he would have painted most of the McLaren F1 race cars that you see at Goodwood and at the Le Mans Classic and things like that, and then many AC Cobras and just various stuff. I'm not going to blow smoke up his ass too much, but yeah, he's great. And so if anyone needs to use him, give him a shout.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look him up. So a question that we've asked everyone so far on this is: you have £100,000 for a car garage, no limit on the amount of cars you can have, or which ones, if you get used or new. What would you have in your £100,000 garage?
Wow, what a question. £100,000, yeah? Wow. And you've got to keep those cars for life?
Yeah, no other cars, can't change, can't get anything else.
Well, the P38?
Yeah.
Yeah. I paid $5,000 for mine, so can that count?
Yeah, that counts, absolutely.
So I've got a green and tan 4x4 now with a V8. And I've got £95,000 left.
Yeah, still good.
Yeah, great. So for me, well, I've got a family and a dog, so I'm going to need a fast estate car. So let's spend $35,000 on an RS6.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll give me one of the last shape RS6s, a 2014, with highish miles and all the rest of it. So that gives me one of those. So then we've got a 200 mile an hour estate car in the shed.
Yeah,
that'll do a bit.
Yeah.
I think, do they do that? 180, 190 anyway?
I think you can get them remapped. I remember,
Fine.
What was it? Not the current one, but maybe 3 before. We were looking at those and they've got the Lambo engines in them.
Yes.
And you could get them remapped and they would make more horsepower than the Lamborghini engine would.
Yes.
I don't think people could figure out why, but they just did.
Amazing.
So yeah, well, 200 horsepower
so we've got a 4x4, and now we've got an RS6 estate car in there, and now we've got one classic car I have to choose. So yeah, because I've only got room for 3 cars in my garage.
And how much you got left? You got 60,000 left.
So I've got one car left. And would it be an Alfa Romeo Junior? I'm not sure. Or I've got 60,000. I need something romantic, something I can take my wife for a meal in, but also something that I could race.
Yeah.
So I think early 911.
Nice.
Yeah. I haven't got a lot of money left, so I'm gonna have to go for something really crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a doer-upper. But I need a 2 litre early 911. So I'm gonna spend 60,000 on that, probably a California import. With a bit of rust on it, but then something that I can do up into a race car. So yes, we've got early 911, so that covers your classic car and it covers your race car. Then we've got an RS6 for doing all the family stuff, and then I've got a P38 for doing your everything else.
Nice.
I challenge someone else to beat me. I think I've won.
That's a good one, to be fair.
Thank you.
And as we sort of come towards the end, is there anything else that you'd like to plug or anything else you'd like to promote?
No, just you. No. Thank you very much. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, well, thank you for having us. It's been a fantastic vacation.
Yeah, no worries. Keep on building interesting cars like your Fiesta.
Yeah, hopefully we will. There'll be some new projects soon.
Well done.
That'll be cool.
Good. But no, thanks for having me. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Thank you.